Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to a new video. So what we're actually going to be doing in this video is a fix that I guess was caused by me. Now, when you modify cars and you lower them, you make them stiffer, wider wheels and everything, louder exhausts, the car tends to get a little bit noisier on the interior. If you are modifying cars, you may have heard the abbreviation NVH. NVH actually stands for noise, vibration, and harshness. And typically when you modify a car, when you lower it, louder exhaust, you do drivetrain upgrades, bushings, that kind of stuff, typically it introduces more noises inside the cabin than it was stock. And the main reason is because the chassis is a little bit stiffer, more noises gets introduced by the vibrations and stuff like that. And the F80 M3 is actually known for creaky door sills. And I'm going to go over it a little bit as to how I'm going to fix that and also why it was my mistake. But I remember in my E46 M3 when I had it back in the day, the thing was just riddled with noises and creaks. And the funny thing is my STI, if you guys remember that car, it actually had less noises and creaks than my E46 M3, which is pretty crazy to think. STIs are kind of known for rattly cars and just not being put together as well as Germans and BMWs. But the STI was completely silent on the interior, even with all the modifications I did. But my E46, very, very noisy. I was going around the car taking panels off and putting little felt squares and stuff everywhere, trying to rid all the noises. But with my F80 M3, it's actually pretty darn quiet. It feels very well built. It feels like everything's put together very well when you're in the inside and driving around. It feels like a solid car. However, I noticed once I started driving the car in the warmer months and also with it modified and it being lowered on KWV3 coilovers and everything else that I got going on here, I noticed that anytime I would go up a driveway incline or just kind of an uneven surface, the door sills up here would creak like crazy. And I started really scratching my head and I was like, man, why is this making so much noise? I don't remember it doing it that much. And I was like, maybe it's just the warmer weather. And then I started looking up on the internet, on the forums, of what possibly could be that noise. So the trim molding right here, it's called Shadowline trim. It's the black trim, if you want to call it that, I guess, that goes around the windows. Really, really nice looking. But it has been said that the Shadowline trim on these cars is known for creaking and making noises. Now, if you come over to the door right here, you can see the different rubber seals around the car or around the door that potentially can create those issues. Now, if we look a little bit closer, there's actually 3 separate areas of where it possibly could be making the noise. Now, this right here is the rubber door seal around here to keep it weatherproofed. And if we look on top of here, on top of the door, there's actually 2 separate ones. There's a rubber one here, and then there's like kind of a little felt rubber strip at the top as well. Now, I was doing some research and I was like, it's got to be somewhere around here. It's probably the door seal. But most people were saying that the actual issue is this seal right here on top of the window, not the felt, not the actual door seal around it, but this rubber one on top here, rubbing against the Shadowline trim. Now, I have heard people having this kind of issue with the chrome trim as well. So it's kind of 50-50, but I've heard on the Shadowline trim, it's a little bit more prevalent and it happens a little bit more often. But I was like, man, that's a really, really kind of annoying noise. How come it wasn't addressed by BMW? So when I initially purchased the car, my car is actually PPF'd from the previous owner. So it's actually, a lot of the car is PPF'd. The entire front clip, so the hood, the fenders, front bumper, the gills, headlights, the side skirts down here, mirrors, B-pillars, roof, as well as the trunk, and also a larger rear quarter section right here. You can actually see the line. When I first purchased the car, I was going around the entire car inspecting all the PPF. This was my first experience with PPF. And on the rear bumper, there was kind of some areas that it was coming up in some corners and I really wasn't happy with it. So I ended up peeling off the rear bumper. I actually left the PPF on top of the sill right here just to keep it somewhat protected, taking things in and out of the trunk, which I typically don't do too much in this car, but that piece was totally fine, so I left it there. So after I removed the rear bumper PPF, I was walking around the car, inspecting it, seeing if there's any areas of the PPF or any areas of the car that I wasn't happy with and, that I may redo with PPF or what have you. And everything looked great. But one night, I was actually walking around the car, looking at it. I opened up the doors, and I noticed there was PPF on the inside of the sills, or the Shadowline trim here. And I was like, man, why is that there? That's kind of annoying. I don't want that there. So unbeknownst to me, I decided to take that off. And that was it. I didn't really think anything of it. I was enjoying the car, having fun. The car wasn't lowered at the time. It was completely stock, and I didn't think about it again. However, once the warmer weather started coming back around, I started noticing the creaks and the noises, and I was like, man, what is going on? It is crazy how loud and annoying it is. You know, this is a $80,000+ car. Why is it making so much noise? So I started looking on the forums. This was actually an issue on the E90X generation, and I believe in the F8X generation, they remedied it by putting basically a transparent kind of squeak tape, if you want to call it, on the shadowline trim to remedy that squeaking and creaking issue. So I started putting two and two together. I was like, you know what? I took that off. That was from BMW. My mistake. So I was like, my God, what can I do? How can I fix this? So I started looking on the internet, trying to find the OEM BMW tape. I did find it, but a roll of it was $250. Crazy. So I was like, there's no way that a roll of squeak tape is what they call it is $250. Let me see if I can find something else. So I came across this. This is called Tape Case. This is 3/4 inch, 36 yards, one roll. It is transparent squeak tape. I know it sounds crazy, but it basically is just that. It's for plastics, for rubber seals. Basically, you put this on, it has kind of a slick surface. It goes on clear, it is transparent, so it's not like you see it or anything. So this is the remedy. Now, this was about $30 as opposed to $250. So, you know, I love spending money on my cars, but I was like, there's no way I'm spending $250 on a roll of tape. So I ended up picking this up. I'll leave a link below for this. A lot of people had a lot of success with this, so I decided to pick it up and kind of fix my mistake. So I figured I'd make this video to help anybody out that may be having some creaking issues. It may not just be in your BMW M3, but other cars as well. This works for anything, not just BMWs. All right, so there's a couple of ways to do this to apply it. Now, you obviously don't want the tape coming over the lip here. You want to make sure that it's covered when the door is completely closed. So what you can do is either take some painter's tape and kind of mark it out right here. So you can line it up with the rubber seal right here. So when the door is open, you know where the rubber seal closes up. But what I have found, I actually did it on the driver's side already. What I found was keeping one of the door closed, and you can see kind of where it goes up to here, and then kind of just follow that line all the way down. Now for the rear back here, I only brought it to about here. I didn't want to bring it all the way down because I don't want to see it when the door's open. But if I find that it's making the noise, you know, down here or still making the noise, I can always add some down here if I need to. But my main goal is to make this as invisible as possible so you don't even see it. So let's go ahead, get this side done, show you what it looks like, and then we can move on to the back door. All right, so what I'm actually going to do first is measure out how much I need. So I'm just going to take it from the door here and bring it all the way down there. The front is really easy since you cannot see any part of it, where the rear door, the back little quarter is, you know, you'll be able to see it. Even though it's transparent, you know it's there when the door is open. The front door goes all the way. You're not going to be able to see any of it. So let me go ahead and measure it out. Let's make a little cut, and then we can apply it. All right, guys, so there you go. We got the driver's side done. Turned out really nice. I do wish it was a little bit more transparent, a little bit more clear overall, but at the end of the day, you're not going to be able to see it at all when the door is closed. And obviously, I'm not going to be driving with the door open or anything like that, but hey, if it stops the squeaks and I can drive my car in complete silence again, that's fine with me. So now that we got the driver's side, or sorry, passenger side done, let's hop over to the passenger rear, get that one done, and we can wrap this up. I'm also going to update you guys on some future modifications, as well as the next couple videos and stuff like that. So hang tight, let's go ahead and get this one done. All right, guys, job is complete. Everything turned out really, really nice. The driver's side, as you can see, can't see it at all. And then got it back here as well, just for documentation aspects of it, but yep, there we go. So I should not have any more squeaks. Obviously, I'll update you guys, let you know if it doesn't work or it does. It should work just because the material actually has some glide to it. That is the reason how it works. It provides some slip, so it won't actually stick to the shadowline trim and create those creaks and kind of annoyances. So we should be good, and I got plenty more of it, so if I need more or I want to redo a piece or whatever, we should be good to go. But before we wrap the video up, I actually want to update you guys on a few mods coming in and what to expect for the F80 M3 in the very, very near future. First and foremost, I am still waiting on my Euro visors. If you guys saw this video, I was trying to remove the airbag warning sticker, as you can see on here, and I gave up because it just did not turn out the way that I wanted. And I didn't even bother cleaning any more of it up. As you can see, it still's got the white residue on here. And I was like, you know what? It's not worth my time. I ended up ordering the Euro visors, which is the exact same thing, but it doesn't have the warning label on it. So it's gonna be much cleaner. So I've been rocking no visors in my car for the last couple of weeks, but they were on back order from IND or from BMW in general. I should have them in the next 2 weeks or so. They said about a 2 to 4 week wait. So I've been waiting about 2 weeks so far. So I should see them in a week or two. I'll update you guys. I'll do a video kind of installing them and showing you the difference and everything and whatnot. Another thing that I have coming in that I'm really excited about that actually took a couple months to get built is actually a short shifter. I ended up going with the Auto Solutions short shift kit. I did some bushings and stuff like that. So it's actually made to your specific specifications. Ronald, the owner at Auto Solutions, he actually hand builds these. They're an absolute work of art. And honestly, if you want to keep your car OEM plus as possible, 100% the route to go. I'll go into more detail as why I didn't choose the CAE or the RTD or the other ones like that in a future video, but that is actually en route right now. I ordered it back in April. So he finally finished production and mine is actually shipped. So I should be getting it hopefully this week. Now in terms of the install, that is something that I'm most likely going to go to Auto Couture to get installed. I've installed short shift kits before, but on the F80 M3 specifically, or M3s in general, it's kind of a pain in the butt. It's a lot of work, and I'm not sure if I'm comfortable doing it. So we will see. Probably bring it to Auto Couture, get that knocked out, and obviously we can do videos on it, installing it, and just kind of showing you the difference and all that. So I'm really, really excited for that. I also, as I mentioned, got some bushings for it, so it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful update on that. I'm also waiting for the UCP, the ultimate clutch pedal, to come back into stock. They don't come back into stock until September. So a little bummed about that. I was hoping to have the short shift kit as well as the clutch pedal in kind of at the same time and just kind of do a overhaul of the drivetrain stuff that I wanted to do and make it perfect. But unfortunately, they're not going to be in until September. So once those come in, obviously I'll update you guys and we'll do a video on that. Two other things I wanted to go over, I am currently researching and debating on, are seats as well as wheels. Now, first of all, seats, I'm kind of back and forth on which route to go. I love the stock seats, but I do prefer sitting a little bit lower than what these do. And also just a little bit more, I guess, aggression. You know, this is not my daily driven car, so I don't need something that is super, super comfortable like this. And I kind of just prefer sitting a little bit lower, feeling a little bit more snug in the car, and just feeling a little bit more like a race car, I guess, if you want to say that. But I'm kind of going back and forth between going with the AMX Performance Recaro Sportsters, you know, just keep the airbags, keep the OEM heat and everything, which works through the factory buttons and all that. Doing a custom kind of scheme if you want to do that, custom material, custom finish. But they are pretty darn expensive and there's a long wait to them. So I don't know, I'm back and forth with that, or just doing something simple like some Recaro pole positions and just calling it a day. Obviously much cheaper, but you know, you give up some things. Obviously you give up the airbags in the car as well as the heat, but again, this is not my daily driver, so I really don't need all that stuff. Well, at least the heat, airbags would still be nice to have. but yeah, I don't know, I'm back and forth. I love having bucket seats. I had them in my E46 M3 for a little while. Felt amazing, and I think this car would be amazing with some pole positions in here. But we will see. I'm back and forth between going with the pole positions or going with the custom AMX Performance Sportsters. I had Sportster GTs in my STI. I love those seats. They are the perfect aftermarket seat if you daily drive your car. Love those seats so much. I can drive in those things all day. So I don't know. We will see. And also, I mentioned wheels. Now, I do love the TE37s, but I have been thinking about changing it up. I'm really, pretty typical, but I really do love the Apex VS5RSs. I'm kind of leaning towards going with the brushed clear finish just because these are black, well, bronze now because of all the brake dust, but going with something completely different and just kind of changing it up a little bit. I'm not sure if I'm going to sell these. I may just hang on to them since they're so rare and they don't sell them anymore. But we will see. I've been thinking about going with some VS5RSs because I just love the way they look, and it's kind of clean and simple and kind of my style. But I still do love the TE37 SLs. Super aggressive, and they just look super good, especially if they get some pole positions in there. It would really kind of suit this look and this build currently. But I don't know. We will see. There's a couple other wheels that I've been looking at. I've been looking at some HREs or something. I really like I believe it's the 101 lightweights. Beautiful wheel, obviously very expensive. I've never spent that much on wheels before, so I'm not 100% certain I want to go down that route, but I don't know. We'll see. Kind of contemplating back and forth. I'm still looking into a CS GTS hood. I would really love to get an OEM one, but as you know, those things are pretty expensive. I found a few used that were like 65, 7 grand-ish, but they were unpainted, and it's crazy amount of money for a hood. I know it's beautiful, but I don't know. I have a hard time spending that kind of money on just one panel of the car. So I'm kind of looking at some aftermarket options. I know Souvenir makes a really nice aluminum one, but I've seen the fitment is 50-50. I don't know. We will see. It's one of those things that if I come across an OEM one and it's a really good deal, I may just snag it. But at the end of the day, the stock hood still looks really good, but eventually I would like to do something with the hood and go with the CS route. So another quick thing that I was thinking about doing is the boot mode flex fuel kit. Obviously, I really think it's unnecessary for how much power the car is currently on the stage 2, but it's one of those things that it's so simple to do. It's legitimately a plug and play. You just plug it into the fuel top hat over there, and that's it. And you load up the flex fuel tune, the multi-map tune, and you are set. Now, unfortunately for me in New Jersey, E85 is not readily available. There's only 4 stations in the entire state, and all of them, or 2 of the closest ones, are both an hour away from me. So I'm not really sure if it's worth it. I don't know. We will see. It's one of those things, again, that's just why not, because it's so easy to do. You don't have to change all the fuel lines and injectors and go crazy with all that stuff. It's one of those mods that's just like might as well kind of things, but I don't know if I'm going to go down that route just yet. Plenty of other things to do in terms of modifications, but those are the kind of things on the front of my mind right now that I'm considering doing. So I figured I would update you guys, maybe get some feedback and kind of see which way to go and help me out to decide. But the next video this week on Thursday, you will actually be seeing my 1-year anniversary update on this car. I cannot believe it's been a year already. Obviously, we have taken this car to a completely different level. Honestly, a much higher level than I ever thought I would ever bring it. So it's pretty cool to see this car, how it's sitting currently a year later. But I'll be going over the likes, the dislikes of this car, future plans. Do I plan on selling it sooner than I thought? Is this one of those cars that's just going to be a stepping stone into something else? I'll be going over all of that in the next video and kind of letting you know what my year experience with an F80 M3 has been like and what the future plans are. But yes, this video was short and sweet, but I figured I would update you guys, let you know exactly what I've been doing in the garage. I know these aren't really vlogs, but it's more of just what I'm doing in the garage, what I'm doing with my cars, kind of updating you guys along the way, sharing my ownership, sharing my journey, even if it's applying some transparent squeaky tape, as they call it, to make the car not squeak and feel and sound better on the interior when I'm driving. I'm going to update you guys with all that small, simple stuff, just to kind of take you along through the whole thing. So that's going to do it for this one, guys. I'm going to leave a link below for this tape if you guys need it for your own car. But if you guys have any other questions about the car or anything else at all, please leave them in the comments below. But in the meantime, keep it clean, keep it simple, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.